We're live. We're alive! Camera. Camera. Got another camera, and this is another camera. We're full of cameras, and we're going live on a drive. A drive I didn't want to start, and a drive I don't want to end. Those are actually Andy's words. He gave them to me. They were Andy's words that reflected exactly how I felt at the moment that we started off. You know what? We're late today. For one of the first times that we've been late, I can actually say we're late, not because of electronic delays, but because of my delay, because that's exactly how I felt. It was a drive I didn't want to start, and it's a drive that I don't want to end. Sorry, keeping my earphones from dangling in the dust. Hello everybody. Very difficult. Uh-oh. Samsung message tune. Okay, sorry, switched it off. It was somebody in Canada sending a good luck message via cell phone. And now email we'll just have to do. But yeah, a drive that is it was an inevitability from the start. When we began, we knew that there was an end to the drive. When we began, it was a set time period. I think because of that, to a large extent, we kind everybody. I don't think everything would be in its place if we didn't have a few hiccups this afternoon. I don't think we'd be able to explain the gremlins of the past if they didn't behave, or misbehave rather, as they want to do on an afternoon such as this, and that is what just happened. Although I suppose technically we can explain it away. The machine overheated and shut itself off, and that's perfectly understandable because today is rather a hot day. Today probably one of the hottest days we've had in winter, and it is probably hotter than your average European summer. Temperatures probably climbing close to high 80s or high 20s, nearly 30, early 90s maybe. For a winter's day, it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. The most unfortunate thing about an interruption. I don't know where I was. I don't know what I was talking about. I know what I was talking about. I know what I was trying to. I know the direction I was going. It's an emotional thing to be this last drive, to try and think of something that we can do that will make it memorable. But I don't want to try for anything because that's going to actually make it impossible. So I want to give the force to the universe, and we've had memorable moments on drive, we've had wonderful moments on drive, we've found some really cool things. And I think to a large extent we've gotten to know some really wonderful characters here at Thornybush. Especially the elephants. Can't deny that. We sadly didn't meet up with lionesses and cubs because they are up there in the north. But we met up with one of the boys who, it appears, is leaving home, and he's joining up with a coalition, or rather he's creating a coalition with a foreign male that has made an appearance over time but has never really settled in the area. But now that this young boy is old enough, looks like these two boys are getting along just fine. We found them on a zebra kill, and today they're on a buffalo kill, I believe, up in the north, which means we're not going to see them. That's rather sad. But I think we came here with expectations that we were going to meet up with the big, hairy, tooth and clawy things that perhaps everybody makes such a big deal out of in Africa. And instead we've actually found ourselves some characters that are really, really wonderful, and even though they may be predators or prey, their role or their niche in nature is irrespective or irrelevant. The fact is that we've gotten to know their characters, and it goes to show that you can't set out to... You can't have preconceived ideas about what you're going to meet in nature and develop a relation. You've got to just do what you do in nature, and all of that comes along. So I think what we'll do is we'll review, rehash, review some of our drives, and look at what we've seen over the last few years, including this special little crossing. That way is looking pretty bright because we at downstream. When we arrived here, there was water flowing. You can see the darker patches of the soil. That is where the water was flowing. In fact, there's still a dampness to it. You can almost see it winding its way through the middle of this sandy riverbed. Where's the bottom of your frame? No? Where that stick comes down? Yeah. But not our shadows. Our shadow is actually quite, if you wanted to tilt it down, and we each did a shadow wave. Find a place for it. No, not that E.T., dude. Hello. Shadow wave. Bye bye, everybody. It's been the most wonderful time. Piece back in. What did you have for me, Aaron? Jody in New Mexico. What is next for me, Mark? Actually, that's our paraphrase, our quote. What is next for you all and Mark? Well, you all have to answer for your all selves, because I can't answer for you. I only know what me of all are doing. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing. Cody, I really don't know. Really, I don't know what I'm going to do. But it's not a negative, because I put everything into the universe, and up until now, it has proven that by following my passion, I'm managing to just survive. And I have had to ask for help in the past, where it was greatly appreciated. It was before I found my feet, but I think that I'm gonna find a way to bring what I feel and what I want the world to know. Yeah. Not now. Hang on. It's up front, and I'm trying to get to see what the camera is looking at, because okay, so basically, and oh, look at this lovely blue sky and the green Thornybush.
I'm just looking at the base here, so we've got like quite a bit, like a first of the screen, like on there, and the rest is
Canopy.
can't still see road.
How do you know?
I can see the reflection in the...
And that's okay. But are both recording?
Yeah, that's in both recording.
Okay, we're going to carry on. This is our last drive, and I know my priority is all of you out there. It wouldn't seem so, because we're taking a few moments to deal with getting these cameras sorted out, but this is our last chance to film a few things, some special moments. The interruptions are not great because it takes me off of my way of thinking, my whole line of thought, train of thought, whatever you want to call it. And ultimately that's actually a good thing, because if I had to stick with my train of thought, I'll only get to a sad station. sad in that we don't know where it's going to go, and we do have this relationship, we do have this friendship, we do have this connection that we've developed over the months because it is an interactive medium. It is an incredible way of bringing this little part of the world to people who will never be able to see it, and also to share what it is all about. I mean, to drive along a shady grove of albida trees on the Timbavati River is probably one of the rarest things anybody will ever do. I don't think any of the guests, hardly ever, come down here. The only time I've ever seen guests down here is when there's been elephants, or maybe the hint of leopard or something, that they come down here to this beautiful little part of the world. And it is it's one of the places that is going to stay with me, and I'm going to take with me as one of the special places of Thornybush that I will remember from Thornybush. I have been a little cynical about it, and I have been a little bit maybe not so complimentary, because it's been a little frustrating trying to find animals in a part of Thornybush where they just don't, they're not moving at the moment. We've only been here for 2 months. Who knows? In a couple of months' time, this southern area of Thornybush might be sort of highly fashionable in terms of animal movement, and I think we humans are the only ones that find a fad fascinating. Animals do too. They find an area and then suddenly, oh, gee, where have we been all our lives? And that in itself will bring different populations of animals. That just has to be, because it's all part of the same reserve, and we know that there are some wonderful animals here in Thornybush that will find their way down here, and one day there'll be lion lying under these trees, and one day, well, we've certainly had our fair share of elephants here, but one day we might find leopard in the branches of these beautiful, look at them, these most amazing anna trees, Cyderbia albida. But you know, the way nature goes is that one day, there might be a day, in fact I'll show you a branch, that might be the most perfect branch, and you could come here every single day for 20 years. You see that branch up there? I'm going to even stop here. That horizontal one. There has to have been a leopard lying on that branch one day, but you know what, if you see it one day, it might take 20 years before a leopard lies on that branch, so it's not like it happens often. It's not like it becomes a favorite thing. Anyways, excuse me a sec. Yebo. Negative, not just death. So as we drive through these areas, and we know we found their tracks, we found their dung, we've had glimpses of them, we know they move here, we can only just imagine what it would be like to see a pride of lion lying here on the sand, and we have seen the elephants or the herds of buffalo or whatever the animal may be. We've seen a fair amount of it. We've been very, very lucky. But it's not something that happens every single day, and it's that very variety of what you see in the same scenery all the time that makes you think, or makes you realize rather, that nothing in nature, nothing out here can actually remain the same for long periods of time. Things have to be different every day. One day something happens and another day it doesn't. And I think for a lot of you that have been with us over a long period of time, you've managed to grasp that. You've managed to grasp that concept that it's not about what we're seeing now. It's not about the 2 minutes that you might click on and look at the live drive and say, oh, nothing happening, and click off. It's got nothing to do with it. It's got to do with what the potential is to drive around a corner and see a herd of elephants or a leopard in the road, or lion on a kill, because those are the special moments that we've had, especially here at Thornybush. And I have to be honest that it might happen over a long period of time for me, and many times, but every time it happens it's very, very special. And there are, hello Nyala, you guys especially. In fact, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Those moments we shared together, those are things that you're never going to repeat. There are times when you come across things in nature that might be ordinary from the onset, but ultimately they're actually incredibly special because they're once in a lifetime. They're things that happen once only. The only way it really is under that jackleberry branch. Okay, Aaron. Yeah, that's good. This question that just appeared. Donna wanting to know if we can give you a tour of the Wild Earth camp before we leave. Donna, I don't think so. I would need the permission of the landowner to be able to do that. So unfortunately, it's probably not going to happen. We are talking about a private property that has allowed us to be here, and it might just be that the landowner would rather not have his private property, apart from the bush of course, but his camp not commercial. I would rather not until I knew that it was okay, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, kind of different subject, but ultimately I was just trying to say that we've had an amazing time. By the way, the Nyala are all tightly tucked into a very particular area that's dark and hardly visible. There's a nice Nyala bull in the reeds. Sorry. Relax. Now we can just see his ridge. Dorsal crest. Well, lose one Nyala bull, gain another one. See what's happening on the radio. Time to start heading west, and sadly it's into the sun, so we're going to have to start doing that soon, because we're way in the east now. And I stalled. He didn't mind. Okay, no, he was just in a really nice gap in the sun. We're pretty far in the east and we've got to head into the sun to go anyway, so sorry about that, but just the way things are. And we'll head down to the river again because I heard some reports or something that I want to investigate. But I'm getting I've got so many mixed emotions right now. I'm starting to fume because it's one of the most important drives of the last few months, and it's got nothing to do with either one of us that are working here. It's just got to do with electronics, and it's a really wonderful hot winter's day, but the heat of it is something we haven't experienced yet. And if the heat is shutting down equipment already because of the heat that's generated, then I don't even want to think what it would have been like to try to do this in summer, because it would have been physically impossible. It is just so disheartening to try and want to do this farewell drive for you, and the computer keeps shutting down, and it's not fair to all of us who've worked so hard over the years. And it's got nothing to do with Wild Earth, it's got nothing to do with anything other than it's just we depend on electronics so much. We depend on equipment. It's got nothing to do with Emily or Graham or Pete or our equipment. It's not our. It's just a consequence of broadcasting from such a remote location. It's the hottest day probably we've had this entire winter. It's really hot. I'd say our temperatures are probably in the high 20s, even close to 30 today. Beautiful day. It's the most wonderful day. But in the past it's proven that as things start getting hot, they start shutting down. And thank you, Packard Bell and Hewlett Packard, all of you computer people. I know you don't really design your equipment for this, but it is just such a mood dampener. I've been trying to get into a frame of mind to say goodbye, and I hope I can still do that. But as soon as I start, as soon as I get into something, I get a message that the computer's shut down and we go offline. So So you'll have to excuse my mood changes because it is highly frustrating. It is such an emotional roller coaster, right? I mean, it's not like the last few months. I'm talking about just the last hour. Trying to keep it upbeat and knowing that it's a little bit low beat because it's upbeat because it's the last drive and Thornybush and wonderful things that we've seen, and then it's a sort of a low beat thing because we've got to say goodbye again. How anybody can expect that anything but a spiritual and an emotional relationship will develop through this kind of medium. We're doing a live drive. It's interactive. We're reaching out to people that feel the same way that we do, and in the process we develop a friendship and we develop a rapport, and I know what it means to every one of you, what it is to do this last drive. I'm touched beyond words with emails that I've received and thanks, and this card that you wrote, this card that's going to take me, I don't know, days to go through because there's so many of you out there that are saying thank you, and I'm the one that has all the thanks to say because I'm the one that has to thank you for being there for us, for watching us, for creating this vibe, for creating this connection. Fresh elephant track. I noticed they didn't get the bulldozer this far. I was hoping that they did. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to drive this again. They've done every single road but this one. Oh well, who am I to complain? They didn't get this far. You know, I live a life that has me questioning life so many times because I'm not a really simple soul. I might have come across as a simple soul, but I have to tell you something, I'm pretty deep, and one of the reasons why I live such a simple life is because I can't balance what you do in your deep life. I can't balance all of that. I can't. The corruption in our governments and our municipalities, and the variable laws that are created. That it's okay for you to do something, but it's not okay for you to do the same thing. I don't understand where you humans come from, and I can only think that I think somewhat like the elephants, and I think that in some ways my interpretation of nature might come across the same way, in that I bring you to nature and I show you things that maybe is from an angle that is not from the human standpoint but from the animal standpoint. I hope that I can show you that. I hope I've been an ambassador for every living thing that lives out here. I hope that somehow that has touched people. I know of the difference that we have made, and I can't really talk about me, myself, because David, Aaron, Andy, Brian and Rob and Becky and all the guys that have been part of this, and of course going back to before we were even here, going back to Seb and Tara and Herman and Alex and Peter and Lishan, and all the people that have been a part of these live drives over time have actually created what is the live drive today. So I can't do the I, me, myself, or as Joan arbitrating puts it, me, myself, I can't do the whole me and I thing, because it is a group effort. There's Pete, that without Pete we would never have the technical backup, the ability to be able to phone someone on 5 o'clock on a Sunday morning, waking up that one day when Pete can rest, that one day when he can sort of say, close my mind to Wild Earth, but we phone him at 5 o'clock in the morning and say, Pete, we got an internet problem, or we got a broadcast problem, or we got a camera problem, and you know what? Every single time Pete solves it, it's like he's this wizard. I think we should call him the Wizard Pete. Pete Bright, who has pretty much kept us going from Cape Town. Every now and then on the computer, when we're working on the computer at doing the emails, but we don't do much on that computer, but every now and then. And just by the way, earpiece is out. I don't know if you've got an earpiece in. So I don't even know if we're still going, but I hope we're recording something. I can't repeat what I'm saying. It's coming from my heart. This is my heart talking. None of this would happen without Pete Ross. Whether he's had to climb to the top of Mars and sort out satellite dishes, or whether he's had to drive up to the top of Maritzburg and show the other people how to do things, everything that we do is because we have somebody who has the ability to pay. Well, that's Pete. I mean, Pete Pond should be named after him, not some other Pete. But no. So anyway, Pete's a good birder, and I hope that we get to do some birding again. But this is a big thanks to Pete. Obviously, Graham and Emily, who are the creators of Wild Earth, who the ones that started the whole thing. Their vision and their acumen. I don't know. It's like they're both younger than me, but it's like the mom and dad of Wild Earth. Thanks, Graham and Emily, and the two girls. Not to mention the boy. But we've had a wonderful time together. It's been short, it's been sweet, and those wonderful individuals that we've managed to find have been special. Hope we're going to see some of them this afternoon. I don't really want to have it that we're going to go and look for individuals. I just want to drive around Thornybush. This is our last drive. We don't need to rush after individuals. If we haven't found them yet, we're not going to find them today. If you know what I mean. There was all the excitement of looking for them, and there was all the promise of finding them, but we didn't. And I guess one of the consolations there is that neither did the other guides. They remained hidden. That's perhaps one of the draw cards of Thornybush, is that you can't guarantee these animals every day. Is that, yeah, they're leopard tracks on the roads, but are you going to find them? They're elephant tracks on the road, are you going to find them? That kind of thing. Getting into the hunt. I can only hope you're following me. Aaron's saying there are a lot of questions coming in. I'm not really... sorry. I don't even know who that was. Aaron's saying there are a lot of questions. We've had the last few months where wildlife questions have come in, and I'm glad to answer them. But I think it doesn't really work for me the last thing. Talk about how many animals are usually in a trial. Sorry. Google it. Really? I love to talk about those things, but this afternoon, this is our last drive, Thornybush. Sorry, Aaron. My mic was talk at the beginning. I don't want to shoot it down. I mean, the whole thing about our drive are questions and answers, but this is our last drive. I want to make it pleasant. We've got to drive into the sun right now. We have no choice. There's front-end loaders and caterpillars, earth-moving things have been busy on these roads, and yes, they're making them a nightmare. Some of them are fixing. I wish they could find a happy medium that the ones that are really bad they fix, and the ones that are good they leave alone, but somehow they want to keep it that they're all just a really bad mix of bad roads. A lot of you people out there, a lot of you folks are viewers of all the other live cams at Wild Earth, particularly things like Peace Pond and some of the Eagle cams. I don't suppose you're going to be going very far. Well, not that you're not going to be going very far. I suppose you'll always be accessible through those cams because you enjoy them so much. I wish I could. I wish I could stay with them longer, and I wish I could add to them. And I hope to find you through looking at those cams. I could possibly spend the next 2 hours, I don't know, maybe we don't have that much time, thanking people and on behalf of all of us here at Wild Earth, reminding you that it's been a very, very huge team effort to bring it all together. And I think one of the people we haven't really mentioned very much, but one of the people that has probably been most instrumental in holding it together is Ivy. And we did a group photo today, and I'm sure David's going to post it. But we did a group photo of what our last drive crew consisted of. It's Ivy and Andy, who you don't ever see, and then Aaron, David, and myself. And Ivy's all been in the background. Ivy shares the same cabin as myself, and well, it was Leslin, it was Leon, but they both gone. And she was a chef at Keaton. It was the Lodge. She's a friend of Tiwe's. In fact, she lives in the same area as Tiwe in Utah. Now, a little thing called Utah, close to another little village where Rex and Patrick come from, called Dixie. And I can thank Ivy for a good kilograms on my frame than I began with a couple of months ago. Particularly that Saturday night lasagna. Every meal. Everything. Ivy has this golden touch that whatever she produces in the kitchen turns to gold, and we've... In fact, it would be pretty hard to get back to Mom's cooking after Ivy. But Ivy has always remained in the background. Anyway, there'll be a photo. Ivy's driving the jig in the photo. I want to acknowledge Andy's contribution. Although Andy's only been on the vehicle a couple of times, and those times that we've tried to find something for him, because Andy sees all these animals in the editing process, but he hasn't really been on the vehicle when we've seen them. But he has worked relentlessly and tirelessly behind that editing computer. Acquiescing to the whims of the likes of Leon and Laszlo, despite how much they went in a different direction, put it mildly. But Andy's always had a feeling for it, and he's kept his editing abilities to faith, and what he's done with what we've filmed and what we've recorded is pretty amazing. And I just hope that we can all get to see it one day. And please don't ask the question, where's it going to be shown and what's going to be, I don't know. We'll find out in time. But Andy's always been behind the scenes, and we've never really acknowledged how hard he works, because he's up till very, very late, and he lives behind an editing computer and has missed so much of the bush. While we've been out here, he's been behind this monitor with 3D glasses on, doing editing. I know I've been talking to you and I've been sort of in the front seat, but I couldn't have been here without everybody else. So there's a team that we've created that has actually done some pretty cool stuff, and I'm proud to be part of it. I'm absolutely elated to have been part of your lives again for the short period of time that I have. I got to know some of you back then. We've weathered storms, we've weathered birth and death and fossil plants, and we've weathered a lot. As a group of people, we've seen everything, I think. We've lost viewers that have been remembered on a special wall. Elephant tracks going that way, that's interesting. We've been a community of people that has probably felt everything the universe can throw at us, and the wonderful thing is that we're still together, we're still here, and this is our last drive, and I don't think, our last drive at Thornybush, for now. I don't think it'll be the last. I think somehow, some way in the future, we'll find ourselves together. I've already decided that I'm going to take a huge gamble. But I'm going to act on the generosity of so many people out there who are contributing to, this is also another thing that Pete brought. I've got so much respect for and thanks for. But Pete Broad mentioned in a blog that he was setting up a chip thing, and I really appreciate that, Pete. A lot of us don't really have permanent stuff, so it can help. But I want to use it. I want to use it in a way that is going to help me, as well as keep everybody connected. And I think if it works out good enough, I'll upgrade from this little Fuji, this little thing. I'll upgrade, I promise. I'll use that money. I'll upgrade from this to a Canon D500, something that has good HD video quality, that I can take good stills from. I don't want to buy a video camera. I think a video camera is so limited. I think these new I'm still a Canon fan, so a new Canon, a little sort of entry model Canon that can do HD video, and I'll try my best, I promise. And I don't make promises lightly, but I promise I'll try. insects and elephants and anything, and the flowering spring of Timbavati. I'll try my best to once a week when I go to town, or once every 10 days when I go to town, to upload something to keep you all in touch with what's happening here in the low veld. I'll try, I promise. And you can speak to any one of my girlfriends and they'll tell you that I don't ever promise anything. Okay, they're not all at once girlfriends, they're different time girlfriends. Some of yes, yeah. There are a lot of women in my life. And I think there are a lot more out there that have become part of my life through my flowers for ladies and my I don't know, whatever. I think the last time drives ended, I said I didn't know how to do this, and now I'm starting to try and think how I can do this. And this is how I do it. We're driving into the sun. We have no choice. I want to see if we can find better listen. I suppose I better listen to the radio before I get into trouble. The other thing, I've got to thank all of them. Buffalo herd down on Bushville Drive. Okay. We're going to find a herd of elephants. We were with Norman today. We found Norman, and as soon as we found him, we went offline. It's like, do these elephants know where the end of our signal range is? They just stand there as soon as we drive towards them, like unlock signal. Let's head up towards hold that. Excuse me, listen to the radio spec. Great. Where did anyone? Okay, copy. Okay, well, for whoever's listening right now, it's our last drive from Wild Earth, and I just want to thank all you guys for being patient and everything else. Thanks for the sighting, and keep up the good stuff. Go ahead. Your cap. Wow. It is. Okay, where was I? Where was I? That's just not physically possible. And if you think that I was going to go for anything other than elephants, you've got to be crazy, because I've got to say goodbye to these elephants. There's a remote possibility that I might see them again, but we tried to find them this morning. All we could find was Norman, and while he was a great find, it was irony. He was 10 meters, not even, he was like a couple of meters just beyond our signal range, so we could see him from a distance, and then when he went behind the bush and I moved, we lost signal, and if I reversed, I couldn't see him. So the elephants picked up our microwave range, and they slide at but since the road after me this morning, I think we'll go and look down this way and see where these ellies went. It's a hot day, they might even have come back to Waxville Dam for a bit of a bath, swim, mud, shower, cool down, elephant thingy. Okay, I'm sure emails are piling up on Aaron's side, so let me get out of my own head and let's see what you've got to say. Craig, we've never had a Craig. I do pretty well with Afrikaans. Ek moet heeltemal verstaan. Maar ek glo nie my Tommy daar agter in die FT. Ek glo nie hy weet mooi om Afrikaans te lees nie. So dit is 'n bietjie moeilik om te verstaan. Hoe oud of hoe lank bly hulle leeu's? En waarvan kom jy? That's another story. Lion longevity, I think this is a question. You've got to remember, Craig, this is unfortunately an English production because we've got people from all over the world, so we have to use English as a common language. And I'm sure that a lot of people in Holland and maybe the Flemish side of Belgium and maybe some Germans might understand some of what we're saying, and South Africans, but most of our people won't. So I have to speak in English. Usually how many lion in a pride? There's no usual. There could be 2, there could be 20. How old do they live? I guess up to 20 years. I'm giving you quick answers, Craig. There are a lot of emails. I'm not too sure what other questions there were. But anyway, fine questions from Craig. Next, please. Okay, we've got to get through a lot this afternoon. We've got like a couple of hours to say goodbye, and I was getting so soppy and emotional, and so I didn't even begin yet. Oh, look at this! Look at the wind change. You can see just by the state of the algae on the dam what the wind is doing. This morning the wind was blowing from the north and all the algae was collected on the southern bank, and now we've had a complete wind change and everything's moved back to the northern bank, all of this algae. I think we're getting a weather change. Who knows, it might just be serendipitous that from tomorrow on it's just raining all day. And that was a catfish that returned. Okay. Question for David.
think spend more than 1 week with my family, and then I don't know, probably find something else to do. I don't know what's going to happen next. Probably carrying on studying with my education, and then
What avenue of study?
Teaching.
Teaching. What subject?
Biology and geography.
Biology and geography. Okay.
Get that done out the way, and then probably I want to carry on in the filming and photography industry. So I think when I decide to hang up my camera, I'll go into teaching. So I want to get everything done first. Still indecisive on what I want to do.
Okay. I hope you heard that. I'm not repeating it. I can summarize. Only if you didn't hear that. I'm sure you heard it. Oh, that's still going. That should be off. Because the sun's in its eyes. I was saying, hey Hannah. Very good, and you? Good.
Enjoy.
Hello everybody.
On English, Daniel side, the campus side.
No, not today. Yeah.
Excellent.
Bye-bye. Slightly distracted. Slightly distracted. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. That was a Dr. Zeus quote. Thanks, Torah. I'm still trying to think what James was saying, because I wanted to thank James for being a part of all of this. And Torah too, because James and Torah have been two names that we've mentioned a lot. They've both been instrumental in keeping up this interaction, this online banter, as it were, over the days. Torah in Charlotte and James. Was James in you up in New York, aren't you, James? Huh? But I think a lot of that has all got to do with what we're doing, and this connection that we've developed over the days, being with you who have joined us live almost every day. We don't necessarily know what you look like. We don't necessarily have your faces in our minds, but of your personalities and your personas and your characters. We've built up this whole image of who you are based on this interaction that we've had. I suppose it's unfair because you've had images of what we look like, but it's irrelevant. The point is that there have been these like-minded spirits that have connected through this ability to broadcast a live drive, whether we've seen animals or not, amongst us. I don't want to call it a circus, but amongst this activity that is the game drives, the guest drives of Thornybush, where you don't actually, you can still sleep in your own bed, but you can still almost experience what it's like to do a live drive here, or rather do a game drive here at Thornybush, meeting some of the characters. There's another side to what has become of these live drives, and that is a sort of a mutual inspirational. I'm trying to find words for it. Mutual inspiration. Let's just call it that. Where we get emails to say thank you for inspiring us and thank you for your insight and thanking us for what we do. But people who have been inspired by what we do and telling us what they have done as a result, inspiring us to do what we do. So it's, as I say, it's this mutual inspiration where we're able to reach people throughout the world, and I hope through my passion, because I guess I'm in the front seat, excuse the pun, presenting it all, and of course we've got the camera to be able to capture it, and FE to, but what we've been able to present to you has inspired you, and in that you have written to us and told us how that has happened, and that in itself has inspired us to get up every morning and do what we do. And I think it is from that point of view that this also becomes a sad day for us, because it's like this wonderful never-ending phone call that suddenly has to end, and you've got to put the phone down, and that's basically what it is. It's like we're putting the phone down, and they're going to cut the lines. We don't know when they're going to join them up again. That's what that's I think what it boils down to. So many people who have had their lives brightened, and I don't want to go into the reasons why their lives have been so dull, because I think it only takes the human imagination to begin to expand it, to think of how lives can be dulled so much and how we can brighten it. But you have no idea how much that brightens our lives. You have no idea what it is like for me to meet someone like Heather in Alaska, who facing a transplant, and through my experience to help Heather with her experience. But it was more than that. It was Heather's success and Heather's experience that meant so much to me, because it gave me meaning for what I experienced. I don't meet that many people in the world, because I live with elephants and I live in the bush, and I don't really socialize much in the greater scheme of things. I don't buy coffee at Starbucks and have to commute, and walk through the streets of a city to go to work in a high-rise building, or live in an apartment, or but it's through all of you that I experience all of that. I think one of the other people I have to mention is someone called Patty in New Jersey, Patty Mulligan. Kathy, maybe Kathy, you're watching too, and Kathy, you're also special. But Patty, who's also experienced a great deal of pain and suffering, and hopefully Patty's been able to watch much of our drive, but she's always been a special part of our lives. People like Liz from the UK and Brian Heather. Yeah, I could probably go on the whole afternoon with names of people. Raisa in Finland, Ossie in the Netherlands, Beverly in Australia, Lorraine in Australia, Stacey in Australia, my cousin Nikki and Rob in Australia. Gosh, I'll probably just suddenly erupt with names because I can think of them all over the world. Joanne, gosh, Jolly, gosh, Holly, Joanne in Michigan, Joanne Jam, folks down in Florida, Rosie, Corin in Virginia. Say, Corin, what's about that sort of wild horse thing that cross a bay, that swim across a bay? I'd like to know more about that. Put a camera on that every year. It's like a migration of wild horses, Mustangs. Our moderators and the ladies who help us on drive, the guys and dolls who man the cameras on the Wild Earth spots. We appreciate everything you do. You're still doing it. Mike in Arizona, you've been quiet, but I know you've been there. Sharon in Austria with your information. The Lisas, the Sharon, the Shelley. I know there are a few of you, but gosh. I remember each one of you. I will forever. What I say is, from myself and the crew, we're all grateful. We're all. It's been an amazing ride. Look, guys. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I'm trying to change the subject with a cluster leaf losing its leaves, and that fruit starting to dry off. Do that trick for now. James. Nicole in Germany. Of all the people in Germany, probably a kudu. Nicole Sonnemann in Germany, and the youngsters. The schools that we met with. Ellen in Illinois and the Brush College School, and some of the retirement homes that we went to see. Look, there's a unique moment. Look, there's a kudu going one way. There's a nyala coming another way. They're going to see. This is a very young kudu, and sorry, I'm pointing at the camera. Very young kudu and a sort of medium young nyala. You get to see the size difference. There's a little nyala bull. In fact, look at that. There's a nyala bull running. And here comes a kudu bull of the same age. It's a nyala bull and a kudu bull in one shot, exactly the same age. Just under a year. Or over a year. Maybe 14 months. There's a big Nyala bull crossing the road soon. Irritated to no end by oxpeckers. There's another name I can't forget. Carrie. CBC. Carrie. Could I hug the baobab tree for you before I leave? Carrie, I'll do more than that. Give it a big kiss. But that depends. Because then it's like a loan. I'll loan the baobab a big hug and kiss, but then you got to give it back to me one day. Carrie Luz Carter. Bye-bye, Nala. We're going to use our gravity drive to slide down this slope. And then there are there's Paddy German, there is Hilke and Heike, and there is, I said Race in Finland, and there is, I know I'm getting into huge trouble here because I'm mentioning names and some I'm missing out. And there's so many people out there that I want to thank, and I want to say hi to, say goodbye to, and well, it's not bye. Clancy, what was that word that Clancy gave me? Thanks, Clancy. Also, another one, Clancy gave me 2 Native American words for not goodbye, but see you again, kind of like Lehitra Ot, which reminds me of Lev, and well, just a bunch of other people. Some people might not work in their name. But is this name continuous or noon? Goes that far. Trying to be calm as a circumstance. But this has been a journey, and it's a journey that... Look, there's this jackalberry. Can you remember that young leopard that we saw in this jackalberry? That little boy of the Malawan female? Sitting in the fork of that huge jackalberry, sort of turning his head like a monkey looking at us. I'll never forget. If you're with me, forget it. Tammy. Carol SF. I don't know if I should say the whole name. Both Tammy and Carol, and they're macro photographs of damselflies and butterflies and different things. Carol and Tammy. Carolyn was painting. It was very daunting the last time the drives ended because we didn't know what was happening. But I think the fact that that life brought us back together again, that's proof that maybe it'll happen again. But it's still we're going to be we're all moving on, and I sometimes wonder if we were seeing lion and leopard and elephant every minute of the day, whether it would have been any different. But I think it's more than that. I think it's those of you that have been here through these drives where we've been driving around for hours looking for stuff and finding tracks and getting excited and following the tracks and getting more excited and then eventually not even finding them. That patience and that understanding that we could find anything at any moment that has kept a lot of you with us. And I don't think we'd be here without you. So this is my long ode to our viewers. Aaron's got a question. I have no doubt more than one. There's another name up. Amy in Minnesota. There's another one. Amy, I want to thank you too for being part of this. What will happen to the equipment, the jigger, etc.? I don't know, I'll tell you on Wednesday. We're still making plans for that. But I don't know what is going to happen. This is Africa. Anything can happen. Next question, please. Tony, where would I advise you to go for the ultimate safari in Africa? Paula, Tony, Sean and Tim. You could probably go anywhere, and as long as you had me with you, it would be the ultimate safari in Africa. Okay, so we have trumpets and drums now. Blow my own trumpet. I can't answer that. Because it depends. If you really think you could ask me a question like that and not have me answer, it depends. Because it does. Depends what kind of safari you want. But I would say, I would give you a choice. Okavango Delta. No, wait, I can't do this. Because you'd have to tell me what are your priorities. What is it that you want to see in Africa? You see, I could probably tell you that a lodge like Juma or any of the Sabi Sand lodges could give you I'm not selling it so much. Could give you an alternate. No, they can't. They could give you perhaps the ultimate photographic experiences in terms of photographing a lion, leopard, big five, close up. But that is so far from the ultimate African experience that I find it difficult to recommend people what the ultimate experience would be unless I speak to you and unless you tell me what it is that you want to experience from Africa. And I'll be able to gauge from that and send you to the places that I know will satisfy that. Because I would say, and your mother probably warned you, don't ever trust a man that says trust me, but trust me on this. seen enough and been in parts of Africa enough to tailor make a particular safari for someone to be able to experience what it is that they want to experience. And I would have to say that if what you want just happens to be something here at Thornybush, I will gladly recommend it to you. But I can't just give a general statement that the best place is this or this, because I would want, you know what it is? It's been so many years of experiencing people in Africa and having them along for their very, very first safari experience, that I know that there are some people that would have been so much more impressed and more, no, I don't want to even use the word satisfied, blown away, so much more over the moon had they gone to different places, to places that I'd met them, learning something about them and learning what it is that they wanted out of their African experience. So all I can say is email me. If you want me to, if you want me to like Janet in JJ, I don't want to just say go here and go there because they might give you something. I want to know you, and I want to know what it is you want. If you're prepared to come to Africa every year, it's a different story. If you're going to come to Africa multiple times, you've got all the money in the world, and you're going to come to Africa, and you're going to experience Barbie Sand, and then Manelet, and then you're going to go up to East Africa, and you're going to go to Central Africa, and you're going to have all of that money. $750 a day just to see the gorillas per person. $750 per person per day just for your permit to see the gorillas. You got that kind of money? But not everybody's got it. And so maybe I can give you something like $750 a day. I can sleep 4 of you in a camp somewhere, rather than just pay for a permit, not even accommodation, to see a gorilla if you want to see elephants. So by all means, I'll be happy to recommend places, but I want to know what it is that that you want, that I can recommend that is going to satisfy that. Some people are happy to come to Thornybush. Excuse me, but for me it's like a racehorse with blinkers on. He doesn't see all the freedom. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong analogy. It's just like going through life with blinkers on. You're so single-minded on something, and you're paying for something because it costs so much. It must be good. But if you've got to wait 10 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour to see one lion, what kind of unique experience is that? So I'd never recommend anything unless I knew the person and unless I knew what they wanted. And if you were coming to Africa and you had that kind of money that you were going to spend 2 days here, and you didn't really care about the emotional lives of these animals, I can't even go there. Where all it mattered was to take a photograph of the animal, sure, here's a good place. There could be reasons why here could be a good place, but most certainly I would tell to one place in Africa based on what I know about them, and if I met another person, their personality and their desires and what they want to find out of Africa, I would send them in an entirely different direction. Maybe that's something I need to do if I had a chance to do it. You just get these big travel companies that just send you on their package tours where they get discounts and stuff, and you just get this generic experience. And I think for a lot of people who come to Africa, and you only do it once, only can ever save up once to get here to see this. Sorry, in my opinion, you've got to make it count. It's got to be so special that you're not going to be able to go and sit in a restaurant one day and say, you know, one day I sat in Africa and I experienced this, and the person at the next table is going to say, oh, you know what, funny enough, I was there too. And another person at another table is going to say, oh, you know, funny enough, I was there too. You don't want that to happen. You want to be able to hold dear to your heart until your dying day and experience that no one has ever experienced. Not like you get 10, you have to move on because there's another vehicle wanting to view something. It's a case of, you find something, it's yours for the whole day. If you want to watch it the whole day, it's yours. That is my experience of Africa, or my interpretation of an African experience, is being in a situation where you can immerse yourself in a lodge environment, you can immerse yourself in the game lodge, spa, sauna, massage, curios, hot cuisine. You can immerse yourself in that whole experience for the fashion of it and for the materialistic value of it. Or you can come to Africa and you can immerse yourself in Africa every single day for the entire day that you're here. Like a no-brainer. Hello? What you going to choose? If you're going to come to Africa once in your life, you want to experience, you want to sleep under the stars, you want to hear the hippos and the lions and the leopards, you want to hear the hyenas howling. You don't want to hear an air conditioner and a generator and I guess what I'm saying is it's difficult to tell you just over a drive like this where the best place to visit Africa is. But you're welcome to contact me and I'll tell you. Another Land Rover. And another Land Rover. That's Hendrik. What are you doing? What are you doing? I thought he wasn't driving. I thought he didn't have petrol. Okay, next. Next subject, next sort of, just break my frame of mind, please, folks. How could I forget? Okay, that's not really an email I can answer on air, but that's just another person that I forgot to thank profusely, is someone in Texas called Linda, and it is actually two Lindas. There's Linda in hot Dallas, but this is Linda in another part of Texas. Linda who, look, Mildred's got her mouth open. Let's go down here to the bottom and we'll be able to see. Maybe we can get a close. This is wonderful. Sorry, Linda, I'm interrupting you, or interrupting myself, not you. But look at that. This is called thermoregulation. Our crocodile. Please forget to say goodbye to her. The emerald spotted wood dove coming to drink. Up until now, when we've managed to find our crocodile, because it's been winter and our temperatures in the afternoon have been mild, sort of room temperature, she's managed to control her temperature with the sun and the water, that she hasn't had to actually cool down, because the ambient temperature hasn't warmed her enough that she has to cool down. But right now, because it's been a really, really hot day, it's been a wonderful, it's like spring, hot, beautiful. But because of the temperature today, she has this dilemma that she's a reptile, she's a big crocodile, she's got to eat, she's not hibernating, she needs hibernating nor estivating, and she's still got to feed tonight, but she wants to warm up and she wants to absorb as much energy as she can, but she doesn't want to overheat, because when you can't regulate your own body temperature, you still have this possibility that you can overheat, and that is how a crocodile manages to cool down while heating up. In some ways like a dog panting, but she's not really panting, she's just breathing, moving air over her tongue that helps her cool down. Now it could be if we were a little bit north of here and we could see her mouth. There might be a way of actually sexing a crocodile through the colour of the mouth, but I'm not too sure how well that works. Oh, the hippie is making a noise all of a sudden. I don't know how close you can get to her mouth. Turn down a bit.
That guy there.
It'll snap off. No, I can't see anything. Anyways, we can maybe see it from the bank, from the top of the damn wall. We'll see her teeth and some of her mouth. Interesting. Do you know that there are birds that'll actually pick the bits of meat and stuff in their teeth? See, gotta say thank you and goodbye to Melbourne. Jordan, thank you for your email. Jordan in Melbourne, I'm assuming Australia. Late at night. I've just been on a while. Okay, let's go onto the damn wall and see if we can pick up something. Also, try and listen to the radio. I haven't even been listening because I need to catch up with what's going on in the rest of the reserve in case somebody's found those ellies. Closed her mouth now. Of course, she's closed her mouth. Actually, one of the nicest views we're going to get of our crocodilian. Like there. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Jordan. That's so cool. Jordan in Melbourne. Jordan saying that he's watched. Is Jordan I don't know, can I just assume you're a guy because I've got a girlfriend who's got a son whose name's Jordan and he's in med school. Hey George. But Jordan's saying he wants to grow up and be a zoologist. Watch every one of our drives. Thanks Jordan for your support. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry we didn't get more questions from you. You know, sometimes you guys, you teenagers, you send more intelligent questions than some of us adults, because us adults, we see things from a different angle. And there's a purity from you youngsters that makes your questions so much better. But Jordan, I also want to grow up and be a zoologist one day, and maybe we can both live our dreams. Maybe I'll also grow up and be a zoologist one day. Except I've got a few years on you, so you've got a bit of catching up to do. We'll see who can get to be a zoologist before the other. I think you might beat me. So you can hear some activity across the dam. Let's keep going. I'm sure we've got a few emails to get through, and I've really got to get off of this morbid subject, don't I? I mean, really, it's supposed to be a happy day. It is a happy day. It is a happy day because we've had this wonderful opportunity to see a part of Thornybush. How about there? That's even a nicer shot.
Yeah.
Let's just stop here because it's a little bit closer. And hello, Mildred. Can you say goodbye to everybody? She's about to. You know what she did with her back legs?
What?
You didn't see that?
I saw her move her legs.
Okay. So when we arrived, her back legs were poised as if she needed to launch herself back into the water. And we've stopped now really, really close to her. And she rotated her back legs. This is the unique ability of crocodiles. That's so fantastic. That's what makes them so different to lizards and other reptiles, is their ability to rotate their hip joints the way they can. And what she's done is she lifted her back legs from that sort of launch position to sort of straight behind her, as though she's saying, oh, it's just you guys, I'm totally relaxed now. She closed her eye when I wanted to take a photograph. Thank you, crocodile. Okay, she's a beautiful crocodile, no doubt about it. Shall we go?
Yeah.
It was nice knowing you, Mildred. You're now eyes open again.
That's beautiful light.
Bye bye, girl. It is beautiful light. One of the best crocodiles I've ever known, really, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Linda in Colorado, reminding me, how could I even forget? How could I have omitted? But I guess I was still getting to it. But Linda reminding me that the pondies, not only the pondies, but especially the pondies, Pete's Pond, all you folks from Pete's Pond that have been some of our greatest supports over the years, never failing, and never questioning all the technical stuff that we've had to deal with. It has been absolutely incredible to have been part of your lives. Okay, excuse me, I'm going to now talk to some friends of mine who I'm not going to see for a while. Brett! Lucas! Fine on you, but good. When are you going back 60 way? 60 Utah.
60 going on the 7th.
Really? Hoe lang was? Hoe lang was?
Oh, dat is wel goed.
Yeah.
Ja,
Please, and for.
gewoon een beetje dat
Yeah.
Ja.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, how you, man?
Good and you?
You just missed the Bejan, man.
Hello. Well, I'm not allowed to show him.
What?
No, because of the whole Rhino thing. So we don't even. That's why I haven't called in sightings. I haven't called in tracks. Because we don't want to be part of anything that might happen to them. Because we live, so we don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
So it's been a hi. Hope you're enjoying your safari. Good. Good. You're so lucky. You got the whole place to yourself.
Yeah, it's all ours. And all lodge, isn't it?
And the whole lodge.
Yeah,
You've got the whole lodge and this whole guide and this whole vehicle. And
They gave me a full.
a what?
A whole water bottle.
I hope there's a little bit more than water in that car.
Half a beer, maybe, if he plays his card right. Stop making fun of Brad. I'm gonna go look for my watch for a bit.
Okay.
Go have a nice little sunset drink.
There were a couple of tracks down there, but it's not like they've been spending time. It might have just passed through. And I can't even remember this morning where they were. Hendrik said to me, yeah, Hendrik, but that was the other day.
Oh, the old track.
Because that's mud, dude, when the tanks were leaking. So those tracks have stayed there for a few days. They haven't moved.
Okay.
But he also said that there was Makoti there today.
Yeah, and in cow color in their black monkey.
Yeah, but I haven't been that way. But I'm heading back down there now. I'm just saying goodbye to all my viewers, and I'm not really looking for much. I don't know. I've tried to find them in Dorgan Corridor, but they crossed Saluti Malawan cut line.
Going north.
Yeah, no, south.
South.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did we?
I think Jonathan found them this morning. Just Dinga and sort of Saluti parallel.
Yeah.
And I found Norman. I found him on
He
his
was
own.
with the herd, eh?
Yeah, he was.
That morning with the
Yeah, but he was also lagging behind, and I found him on Saluti parallel, close to Southeaster. But then when I got onto Saluti Malawan cut line, the tracks for the herd had headed south. But I even came up Spoko. I had a look at Spani. Yeah. So I can't find anything there.
Okay, we saw a track. Saluti bush for that, eh?
Yeah, but that's Madala. That was the thing is that they've been turning circles in that area, so you've got to try and figure out which are the ones that they left now and the ones they left. No, it was an hour ago. So
Yeah. Oh, well.
enjoy, Brad.
Look after yourself.
Yeah,
Too.
I'm sure I'll bump into you. I'm still going to be in. I mean, I live here, so
Yeah.
I'll see you at Josh Maxwell.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Or bones.
Or Bones. Or Sleepers.
Yeah, oh, it's a good spot there.
But yeah, I'll try and get hold of you. We'll make it plan.
No, we must.
Beautiful life.
It is.
My final life.
Have a drink.
Enjoy your safari. Bye. Lucas, nice seeing you again, eh? You're looking good, and I'm pleased. Yes, she's sitting there with a map. Her name's Mildred, by the way. Mildred?
Mildred.
Yes.
Is that his name?
No, her name.
Her name.
So there's not many guys named Mildred, but...
You never know, eh?
No, that's true. She told us. Bye. Of all the guides here at Thornybush, I think Brad has been about the most helpful, the most friendly, the most just been a wonderful guy. He's from Jackalberry Lodge. A very lucky couple who are with him on the vehicle. They've got the entire lodge and vehicle to themselves. See, that's the kind of thing that if you want to do a safari, that's what I would arrange for you. even if you wanted to come to Thornybush, you can't sort of figure it out that you could be having this unique experience rather than sitting on a Land Rover with 10 other. I promise you, they fit 12 on some of these vehicles now, and if there's just 2 of you and you just end up at the lodge at the same time that it's full, you just might find 10 more people on the same vehicle and you squeezed in, and the animals on that side and you sitting on that side. Please, just get real about your African experience. It's all about experience. That's got to be the key word. Experience Africa. Maybe it's supposed to make my company name that. Okay, now I've forgotten where we were, other than Mildred. So many names to remember, so many people. I mean, there are hundreds of you out there that I have to thank, and I wish I could do it individually. I've read some of the dear. Thank you for putting that e-card together. Dear put an e-card together, and so many of you signed it, and it'll probably take me another month to read it. And it'll probably take me another year to answer everybody on it and say thank you. So if I could just say thank you for such an emotional goodbye, I mean, that is in itself, that is just incredible. Testament to this connection that we've developed. I know there are lots of names I'm going to leave out, and probably some of you are going to be really cross with me because I forgot you. Phyllis, we were talking, I didn't even get to Phyllis, we were talking to Linda in Texas. Pepperbird, who also goes back years with our drives and with me. Pepperbird has been an angel. Gosh. You know, you think you have pretty much everything sewn up, and then the last drive comes along, and I've got to squeeze so much into these last last couple of hours of a few months worth of broadcasting, and as it gets later and as the sun dips down to the horizon, the pressure increases because I'm trying to remember names, I'm trying to remember people. Penny and Bobby Lake in Durban. Penny's always got some wonderful information to send in. I've got to thank Penny too. I think I might have said Sharon, because Sharon also helps me with info. Shaz, another Sharon. I still owe you a dinner here at our camp, but of course we don't have a camp anymore. Okay, Shaz, I owe you a dinner somewhere else. Promise. It was a frivolous moment saying, whoever gets it right, I'll give it dinner for 2. I can fly all the way over here to dinner for 2. But I still owe Shaz a dinner. Who can you think of? David? Lisa Howard, yes. Were you there? Other Lisas. Bella? Oh my word, yes. How could I forget? I would never be forgiven. I'm not going to be forgiven for mentioning or forgetting a number of people, but how can I forget Vivian in Chicago? Vivian who shares in my life. Vivian, I don't know if Jack, Long Island Jack, I don't know if Long Island Jack is there. Both Jodi's in Mexico. See, I knew I was doomed when I started mentioning names, that I'd reach a time in the afternoon when I could no longer carry on with all the names, because there's just so many out there. There's so many of you who have become so much a part of our lives, as much as we've become a part of your lives. And this is to some degree so much about how we come out and look for animals every day, but how we come out and do a game drive and interact with people out there that become part of our lives. And it's that very thing. It's like this super extension of a messenger service, the super extension of a chat room, that it's no longer just text on a screen. It's images from Africa, and your words being able to to reach me, and mine being able to reach you, and that's just so much more than just a chat room. Okay, just to change my eyes. It's getting a little bit late for sunglasses. I'm so preoccupied with an extended goodbye. But it isn't goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. And Kutwa Nana Town. Carrie is out of town. Gujarat in India. Nadav in Johannesburg. Oh, Charlie Cleveland, not in Cleveland. Hi, Charlie Cleveland, who's from Minnesota. I don't know, she says, ask my father, my husband. My husband's father. Funny, for like about a week or two or more, we thought Charlie was from Cleveland. Actually, I think it's Hibbing in Minnesota. But Charlie wants to know if I'll ever visit Thornybush again. Yes, I'm bound to, Charlie. In fact, I have doubt that I will be. They might have a lodge called Kula, M-K-U-L-A, Kamkula Lodge. Clint and Diane, they were that raised little Simon, the bush baby. And we now have a sunset. And now I've got orange spots in front of my eyes. Excuse me a sec. Aaron saying something.
I just rated it in.
What?
I just said yo.
It's not the real goodbye, it's just the sunset goodbye. It's the sunset goodbye before we have a real goodbye on the road, so that you can't see my face and you can't see me crying. From Africa with love. How's that? This is From Africa with love. I love you all. Kevin, Boston, I forgot you. I forgot so many people, and I'm sorry if I forgot all of you. And I'll probably never make up for it. But it just goes to show how many people out there have been so much part of our lives over the last few months, and it's been an incredible experience. And I also wanted to say a very, very, very big thank you to the crew that have been behind me, because without everybody there, I couldn't have sat there and done what I did. I wouldn't have been able to do what I did. So, I hope you can hear me. I hope I could find words to say, but I can't. I'm speechless. We'll see you on the internet. We'll talk to you in the web. We'll see you on Facebook. I'll try and write some blogs, and I'll see if I can get myself a camera and do some stuff in Timbavati and post it, and I'm sure that Emily and Graham will probably help with that. But I think I've been the privileged one. I've been the one that has been super privileged to have been able to be here and present it to you and show you that a passion still exists, that there is intrigue in nature, that nature is worth sharing and saving and being revered and being protected and being invested in. The nature's all around you, and you don't really have to come to Africa. You've got stuff in your backyard that you can see, and if you have the right place in your heart, you will see it and you'll feel it. I love you all. Bye, everybody. I don't know if we're going to close off now, but I'm just face to face, because now I'm going to be driving and you're only going to see the back of my hat. As an oriole flies across the sky. I thought I could. Okay, let's get off the toppy side. He said goodbye in a drive. Let's pretend that didn't happen and we're still doing a drive. It's the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What you got for me? Questions? Thanks, Paddy in Germany. Vielen Dank und auf Wiedersehen. Dankeschön. Nice to know that you've been happy watching us over the months. And a classroom. What classroom, I wonder? I forgot all the Dianes. Hello, Diane Phillips. Do I have a song for you? Oh, would that I could. Would that I could. One thing that comes to mind is like a Leonard Skinner number. This isn't so long, so much so long, I don't know, so long and farewell. Forget the words of that. Don't know. No, that doesn't work. I guess I better not sing right now. Another vehicle in front of me. Oh, the harness again. Very well. One of the biggest idiots in Thornybush. Song for you. Ordinarily I'd probably be pretty quick on the mark, but at least the title, because I don't know words for songs. But sometimes if I think of a couple of words, sometimes a song comes to mind. However, trees of green, skies of blue, red roads. No, I've got all the words wrong. Yes, Louis Armstrong's Beautiful World. There's a song for you. My friend Sharon. Cindy Kroll, Cheryl and Sandy Kroll. All three ladies. Yes. Thanks for reminding me, Sharon. Cindy and I, who shares an interest in certain plants called Sansevieria. Cindy and Cheryl. But I know that there have been a number of people actually who have had issues with cancer or transplants, whether they've been donors or receivers. I think the one thing is that this drive has done for us is that it has made it clear that we are not alone in whatever it is we're suffering from, and that some of us maybe as an inspiration to others have come through it. I know that I can't speak for cancer because I haven't had it, and to overcome it must be something so much more than overcoming the things that I have been faced with. But ladies, it's like Paddy too, who's had stroke, Mulligan, and just so many people that have had to face illnesses and hardships on a physical level, that have found some solace in driving with us through the bush. I wish I could take all that pain away. I wish I could take it all away. I wish reminds me of two other Cindys too. Cindy Tiana and another Arizonan Cindy who's a vet tech. I keep being reminded of people out there who are part of my life and have become part of our lives that I'm hoping will still always be there, and I know you will, and coming back to do these live drives for a couple of months has proven that the time in between, and maybe I know I've disappointed some people in the past. Circumstance had it that way, there was nothing I could do about it. And I have no doubt that I might disappoint others in the future. I try not to, it's not my intention. But it just goes to show that we're inextricably linked. We have this common denominator that actually feeds us. Because as much as a live drive feeds you, I have to tell you something, it feeds me too. Completely different scenario, either living on my own in the Thornybush. I drive around in my landy at home and I see wonderful things, and all the time I just wish there was a camera on there that could show you what I'm seeing. But it's not only that, it's when I'm in different places like in Tanzania or in Slovakia and other places where I'm guiding guests and wishing that some of you could see some of the stuff that I see. If only there was a camera and a way to link it up. Maybe technology will get there one day, that we don't need all this intricate stuff and one base, that we could just have a vehicle that goes anywhere in Africa and you could see it. I dream for that day. But I think most of all, as our live drive ends right now in Thornybush, I hope to keep in touch with you. I hope you will continue to come back to our Wild Earth page and have a look at our different cameras and the animals and the life that our cameras are showing the world. Some of them are operated by very dedicated people who spend a lot of their spare time zooming and panning and tilting the cameras to find you the best views wherever it may be. Getting involved in the lives of some of the fish eagles and forest animals and whatever it is that you can find on our camps. There's always something that the bears, and every now and then I hope to pop in and say hello. Pop into a chat room or somewhere on Wild Earth and say, hello, Mark's here. I hope to do that. I think now more than ever, I think this return to the live drive for me has shown how much of a part of my life it is, and how much I want it to be part of my life, in that this is the ability to reach people, to show you, to impart a knowledge and a passion and show you at the same time is unmeasurable and unmatched. Thank you, Aaron. Aaron in FC. I don't think we're going to part way. I'm sure I'm going to see Aaron again, and you, Dave. And if I know that if I ever need anything edited, I know Andy's going to be the first one I call. But thanks, Aaron. Aaron reminding me, asked the question, am I going to find the ladies a lost flower? I've been looking all afternoon. I wanted to find a flower that was like, here ladies, this is my goodbye present. that final flower for the lady. Got a little bit of daylight left, just a little bit of daylight. Let's see what I can find. I've been looking. Having said that, I will make a pledge. I will try my best to take a photograph of a flower. Choose a flower from my book. No, it's the same thing. I will if I have to. Real flowers. I saw a little lobelia back there, but it's going to be like a full flip on a page. With us going into spring, I'm going to be taking photographs, and I will post flowers for the ladies as much as I can and try and make up for it. But this afternoon, apart from being distracted by talking so much, golly gosh, I haven't really seen any flowers or registered. No, I would have registered, you know. Like I could see a grasshopper in the bush from 20 meters away. My brain registers, so I'd see a flower and my brain would instantly go to pleasing the lady by presenting a flower for the lady. Angela, hello Angela in Missouri. Have I come across any albino animals? That's Angela's son. No, I'm sorry, I haven't. I don't think they last very long in nature. But I've just remembered too, there are two more people I want to say goodbye to. Well, not goodbye, but thank you and see you soon. And this is like New Zealand way, because I've forgotten my New Zealand. There's Diane and Shanae. I'm sure Aaron also wants to say thanks and goodbye to Shanae. But Diane, Shanae, hope to see you soon. And I hope next time you're in SA, I'll hope we can manage to make it work that we get to see each other. Because last time you were here, I couldn't make it. And I know there have been a few people. Mike Moss as well was here recently. I couldn't make it to see him. And sometimes, even though it might only be a couple of 100 miles or so, it's not always possible for me to do that. But I will make it. As we close the evening and we're getting closer to the Thornybush River, this has been a phenomenal experience. This has been a wonderful adventure over the last couple of months. We started it with such wonderful ideas, and I think the very first thing that you got to learn about nature is you don't start anything like that. You got to start it with an open mind, and it was only when we opened our minds to the fact that we were not going to get the lion and the leopard and the stuff that we wanted, that we started seeing other characters, other wonderful characters that live here at Thornybush that might have been overlooked if we'd been so there's a leopard. There's a leopard. Holy macaroni, there's a leopard. If that isn't serendipitous, if I don't know what it is, then there's a leopard. We're going to try and sneak closer to it. This is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I don't know what to say. So we're going to try and get to see it. And so far sitting in the road, a little bit far up ahead. But trying to get out of the way a little bit. Sitting down in the road. It's gonna have to stay there for us. I think it might be watching something. The universe has rewarded us. Oh, even coming towards us. Never mind walking away, coming towards us. Brad, come in. Going off the road. Brad. Okay, copy, thanks. I've got an Ingwe at I'll be the fan. Yeah. Oh, that's her. That's Malawan female. Take it off. Cut microphone. Here she comes. Hope you're going to get her on cam. Or it's her. Go back and she might come. Wow. Coming back this way. Now, if anyone's in the south, I need maybe a bit of help with an Ingwe if you're interested. Okay, thanks, Laura. Johanna. Yeah, firm. I'll try, but I'll try. Okay, pretty relaxed at the moment if I keep my distance. Heading east along that Albedo road that comes from the crossing. Okay, copy. Is that pretty girl? She doesn't like us. Hope you got that. I don't know any we could have ended our drive. That there's no way we could have planned. I don't even think if it was elephant, but I think this is the most. Thank you, everybody. Final little goodbye from the. I'm trying. Getting dark. It's gonna have to come bottom onto I'll be the fan. I hope enough. Maybe the Impala. If we just stop here. We'll be able to see her there. If she comes up behind us, we'll be able to see her there. So we want to just... 9 vehicles lining up for that line. I'm leaving. Now, we just got to be trying to hope she's going to come out here. I can hear some birds shouting. I think this is the same leopard that we saw at Waxpool Dam, those very dark eyes. Nothing really I can do. Because there's no way in there, and if I go crashing in there, she's going to run away. But she was moving in an easterly direction, which means I think she's going to come out here any minute now. Keep an eye on that little patch of road way up there. Oh, there she is, right in front of us. Going across the open trail. There we go. Thanks, David. A little bit of height that you have helped. She's stalking something. Seen something. It's usually impala here. Something. Really muddy ground. Going through this little patch of mud. Copy. Here I go. Now reach that little fan where that is in the fan. That's probably, I've got no light or anything, so, and I'm also running out of light for my camera, so I'm going to have to, I'll hold on as long as she's off to something. Stand by. I'm trying, she's running, but not from me. She's running after something. Don't know how much of this you can see. There's the Dacre. After that Dacre. She must have been after that Dacre. She's now on the bark. And because she's the things, I can't put lights on. I can't, even if I had a spotlight, I couldn't put it on her. Clearly after something. Here she is. No, that's not a, or what I thought might have been a patch of white. That wasn't her. And now I will, unless we see the tip of her tail, we're not going to find. The road, maybe. Circumstances, said and done. In the dark. I think she might be back on the road. There's the baker. You might have stayed focused on the baker. Yeah, I'm just east of that now. She went after a munti. I'm still trying to keep that munti in sight, but I don't know where she is. Copies. I mean, after this, I'm no doubt you'll pick up her cornwall, but I'll try and see if I can pick her up again. So you know that Korokor road that comes down from Mutala Herd Road that's really badly eroded? Yeah, that's where I am now. Yeah, so I'm on that road that goes from Albeda Plan to the cut line. Past the Albeda trees. Yeah, but she didn't Baleka. She went after a munti, but she's still here. I think she might even still be watching at munti. How could I ever even... I'll talk to you when you get to me. She was just on the western, where that, between that rusty drum where the pan is, and that old drying up pan. She made him go for that munti just there, from that old sort of damn wall. That munti is standing there now. She's generally she was coming this way. So she's either going to come out or she's going to come back to India.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Hope you find her.
I hope so too, but thank you.
Goodbye. And thanks for your help through things, hey Hannes.
Enjoy. Where are you guys going now?
Well, I'll go home to the Timbabari, but not sure what the next project is. Bye. parting gift. It was one of my arriving gifts, finding them leopard. And if it's on 8, I'll do the road and see Lele. Maybe a little bit more to sort of northwest of you. There's between that fan and that other steel drum fan. I couldn't have hoped for a better way to say goodbye to you than coming around the corner. You know what? I think it's one of the things that I've missed the most about all of this here at Thornybush is the amount of times it used to happen for us in Thornybush, I mean in Juma, where we'd come around the corner and there'd be a leopard in the road, and it has almost never happened. And it is so incredible, so amazing that this had to happen on all occasions, that this evening that we're saying goodbye. And even though she was so far down the road and she was sitting, no copy, that was the munchi she went for. Anyways, as I was saying, so of all the things that we could have found coming around a corner and just seeing, there's a nice job. I don't know, that's just so fantastic. And you know what? Well, the camera's going dark, tearing up. Doesn't sound like it. Yeah, there have been a lot of you out there that have been very, very good to me and good to us, and it's just been an incredible experience. And from Wild Earth, and I want to thank this part of Ilkley here for their accommodation, or for accommodating us, but not only accommodation, but for accommodating us, for allowing us to let us be here to do this, and driving over their grass to get our vehicle into their, what we call our garage, which is not really a garage. And as I was saying earlier, Emily, Graham and Pete putting this together, it's been absolutely incredible being a part of it. I'm so glad you phoned. Good night, goodbye, I love you all. And we'll see each other with elephants again one day. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, David. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Ivy. Laszlo, you might not have produced much or done much, but you were still here for a while, so thanks for what you did do. And of course, Leon, who was here. Rob, who was instrumental in putting it all together at the beginning. Brian, who did camera work. It's like I'm receiving an Academy Award. I want to thank everybody. But thanks everyone. You've all been absolutely incredible. And I hope you find it. I've got to shut down. Cheers.